Hey Rocketeers, I just wanted to do another quick kind of day 2 lesson where we use the same skill we did yesterday to try that same skill out with 2 new people. But before we do that, I wanted to quickly go over the answers that I'm seeing from today's Google form, or I guess it was yesterday, that I really liked. And a lot of you use the sentence stem. Thank you so much for reading the whole question and using that sentence stem. So many of your answers look way better today than they have in the past. I really appreciate it. I wanted to call out a few of them because they went the extra, they did the extra step of using the evidence to support their answer. So one that I saw here is Mae Jemison and Neil Armstrong are both brave and wise. Those are 2 character traits that describe both of them. And they said, I think this is because they both skipped a grade and worked for NASA. So they're using the evidence from the text. Both of them skipped a grade and both of them worked for NASA. And that shows that they're brave and wise. I thought there's a few more answers here that were pretty awesome. Mae Jemison and Neil Armstrong are both adventurous and brave. I think this because they both went into space and they weren't afraid. So again, they're using evidence. They both went into space and they weren't afraid. So they're using that evidence to prove their thinking. Yeah, some of them aren't so great. Rocket ship people, I don't know what it's called. They're in the video. They're called astronauts, and please use my sentence stem. Some people put like they're both determined. Great, but and I think that's a good answer, but tell me who you're talking about. Make it a complete sentence. I would really appreciate it, but for the most part, you guys did a really great job. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and jump into our 2 people we're going to read about today. One is Louis Armstrong. Louis Armstrong is remembered as one of the greatest jazz musicians of all time. In fact, some think he is the greatest. Louis sang and played the trumpet. Louis Armstrong was a very innovative musician. Someone who is innovative creates or tries new ideas or styles. Louis played new jazz rhythms on the trumpet. His voice was rough and different. He played jazz music no one had heard before. Early in his career, Louis played with different musical groups. He would play very long trumpet solos. No one had done this before in jazz music. People began to copy Louis. He became very popular. He played in his hometown of New Orleans. He also played in Chicago and New York City. People couldn't get enough of Louis. Louis also became popular in other countries around the world. Louis started to perform all over the world. He performed throughout Europe, Asia, and Africa. His childhood nickname was Satchmo. As he toured around the world, he earned the nickname Ambassador Satch. Louis's musical talents didn't just include playing the trumpet and singing. He also wrote music. Beyond music, Louis also made films, hosted a radio show, and wrote an autobiography. It seems like there wasn't anything Louis couldn't do. That is our first person. Here is our next person. And remember, we're trying to find that connection. What makes them similar? What is their relationship if they have one? What are some traits that they have in common? Do they belong to a group of some sort? So please pay attention to this next one. So we have Louis Armstrong, and now we're going to read about the First Lady of Song. In 1934, a teenager named Ella Fitzgerald was going to perform at the Apollo. The Apollo is a famous theater in New York City. Ella had planned to dance. Before Ella's turn, 2 sisters danced for their performance. They danced so well, Ella was afraid her dance would not be as good. So she decided to sing instead. When it was her turn, Ella got on stage and the crowd started to boo. But when she sang, they became quiet. By the end of her first song, they wanted her to sing more. That performance was a very important event in Ella's life. It helped start her music career. Ella grew up to be one of the best jazz singers of all time. Ella started out by singing in different bands. Then she began to perform on her own. Ella's voice was warm and clear. She could sing a variety of notes. She could copy the sounds of different instruments while she sang. This type of singing is called scat singing. It's no wonder people call her the First Lady of Song. Ella also recorded songs created by other musicians. A songwriter once said, "I never knew how good our songs were until I heard Ella Fitzgerald sing them." So I will post screenshots of this so that you can use these to compare the two people we're talking about here. I'm going to post about 2 questions on the Google form. So make sure you're looking for how are they similar? Do they belong to some sort of group? Or like, are they part of a similar category of people? And that is it. Think about, oh, and some character traits that they would possibly describe both of them. Basically, you're looking for similarities. All right, thank you guys so much. Make sure you read my whole question on the Google form so that you can use any sentence stems I give you. So I'm going to be shouting out some really great answers when I do my next day 2 lesson. Great job, guys. I'm proud of you for still working so hard. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.